And we are back with the fifth segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this fifth segment, I have some bad news. And there is a possibility that the TNT cast between Shaq, Ernie, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Chuck is going to dissolve. So there's right now there's a current NBA media rights deal coming to an end, like with TNT, the basketball. It's going to take a huge shift in broadcasting. So it seems that TNT has already lost the race to broadcast the NBA. According to The Ringer's Bill Simmons, NBC is going to take over from TNT once the new media rights deals have been signed. And due to the new media right, with TNT losing the media rights to cover these games, the crew on Inside the NBA on TNT, between all four of them, is going to be out of the TV screens starting in the next series, starting in the next season, in 2025 and 2026. And TNT has been the host of the NBA Finals for multiple years and a staple for NBA broadcasting, and now it's coming to an end. It's excuse me, but it's really sad seeing that there is a possibility that the team is going to be breaking up simply because, Charles Barkley says that he can leave TNT if it loses its NBA rights. And so wouldn't be surprised if, Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck decide to leave and go to CBS and cover the games there. But I believe Ernie is most likely going to stay with TNT and do whatever it is that TNT needs him to do. It's just really sad because, this crew has been around, it feels like they've been around since they've retired. And it's really sad seeing how this crew is going to be dissolved and just thrown away like that. CBS isn't going to keep the show running Inside the NBA on CBS this time. I really wish that CBS would have continued the halftime show with all of those people on the cast. But we're not entirely sure exactly what their decisions are going to be, and it does seem like this group is going to break up and go their separate ways, or go whichever way they decide to go. Hopefully they decide to just join CBS and their broadcasting team and bring back Inside the NBA, just this time on CBS, but it doesn't seem very likely. And Inside the NBA, it's the pregame show on TNT and the halftime show that they have on TNT, and as well as the postgame show that they have on TNT. They have very good talks with each other. They all love to banter around. They love to have fun. They love to. There's so many legendary moments that you can name. There's Shaq breakdancing. There's Shaq being pushed into a Christmas tree. There's Shaq and Chuck fighting several times. There's everyone touching Ernie's bald head or Chuck's bald head. Just so many funny moments. And of course, how could I leave out Shaq saying, "Hey, how many rings you got? I have 4 rings. I have 3 Finals MVPs. I've been the best player on my team." And then Chuck just calling him fat. Chuck calling him Shrek. All sorts of things that are just absolutely hilarious because they're all friends at the end of the day, and they just love to banter with each other. And sometimes the NBA discussions turn into very heated debates between Shaq and Chuck, simply because Shaq refuses to let Chuck speak on anything. Whenever they talk finals, Shaq is just "Yeah, well, unlike you, we have experience winning in the finals." And it's Chuck is always the center of being made fun of. Even when Kevin Hart was on the show, there was a point where Kevin Hart, like, when they were talking about him announcing his retirement from the All-Star game, he was like, I've already reached greatness. Like, it's over. Like, Shaq, you already know what it feels like. Kenny, you know what it feels like. And then he turns over to Chuck and he's like, I'ma stop right there before I get ahead, because, Chuck has never won a ring. And that's just the joke around everybody else on the TNT sportscast, because Kenny, he has a championship ring. I believe it was for the Houston Rockets, and Shaq, obviously, he has 4 championship rings, 3 with the Lakers and 1 with the Miami Heat. And Chuck, he's very, very bitter about it. He's like, man, I'd be able to have 4 rings if I was riding off of D-Wade and Kobe's coattails. And obviously, there's some truth to that, and there's also some untrue to that, because Shaq does have 3 Finals MVPs, meaning he wasn't carried by Kobe and he wasn't riding his coattail. He was, in fact, producing just as much, if not better, than Kobe Bryant in a lot of these series. And a lot of Kobe fans aren't going to like me saying that, but tough, because Shaq's numbers, they're phenomenal. And in 2001 especially, he was outplayed. And, Da Boy J in the comments said facts. There's really no argument for it. Shaq played better in 2000. By far, he played better in 2000. He was averaging like 38 and 12 or something like that, while Kobe was averaging like 15. But then, in 2001 and 2002, Kobe was picking up the slack, and they both played well together, and they both had enough production to win in the end. Like, it was a team effort from both of them in 2001 and 2002. But Shaq wasn't carried by Kobe. Kobe was carried by Shaq only once. Like, I am a Kobe fan, but I'm just going to say that he was only carried once, and that was in 2000, because there's just really no argument for saying that Kobe played better than Shaq in that series whatsoever. Like, none. But it's really sad seeing that the crew is just going to be breaking up due to NBA rights, and it's just a really sad day. So I'm definitely going to be watching a lot more of the broadcasting crew with the amount of time that they have left before their rights get shifted over to CBS. And again, just a really, really sad day. So with that, we are out of time for this 5th segment. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And there's really nothing else to bring up about this. Like, they are breaking up, but it's really sad. So thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Basketball Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. And as usual, please remember to use the link in the description to get your comments recognized, or the link displayed below the ticker on every single show segment. That is GSMCPodcast.net. Really helps the show, makes the show much more interactive between myself and you guys. Once again, the link is GSMCPodcast.net, and it's displayed below the ticker on every single show segment. That's the end for the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for... Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me. Before I end the show, we have a comment coming in from Boomer. Talk about the Pacers. Now, I didn't really talk about the Pacers. I talked about them yesterday, which is why I'm not talking about them today. Simply there's really... If you want to hear what I have to say about the Pacers, you can go ahead and watch my previous video about the Knicks and their series. But, since you do want me to talk about the Pacers, I might as well go ahead and take a few minutes and do that. So, they're down 3-2 in the series, and now they're looking to win in Game 6 in Indiana and push the series to 7 games with a chance of winning in Madison Square Garden. But they played very, very poorly in Game 5, and now they're expected to somewhat bounce back in Game 6. They do have home crowd advantage. But, okay, Boomer is going to go ahead and watch the video. Yeah, because I did make, I do have my own segments, like, talking about the Pacers and the Knicks and their series in the previous upload that I did. So just go ahead and check that out if you're really interested. But, maybe in the next maybe in the next segment for Friday, like maybe tomorrow, I'll go ahead and talk and give my predictions on what's gonna happen in the series. But I have the Knicks winning in Game 6. But then again, like there's a huge possibility that the Pacers could end up winning in Game 6 due to the home court advantage, and then pushing the series over to 7 games. But that's really like all the time that I have for this show. Again, watch the rest of the videos if you are interested in the Pacers and what they have to say. I'll keep that in mind for the next segment on Friday. And Boomer has something else in the comments. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Appreciate it, man. So, thank you so much for tuning in. And again, be sure to watch the rest of the uploads that I have on the basketball podcast. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am your host, Nelson, and as always, take care.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.